Hey, it's Jen Hamilton. I'm here with a special opportunity for this operations conversation to be beyond me. As you can see, I have a special guest with Nic Held. Today, we are bringing ops and tech together. And to just share about some of those things, I'm going to have Nic be a guest occasionally. And we're excited to share some ideas on the geeky side of business, ops and tech. So, Nic, thanks
Excellent.
for being my guest. I'm going to let you do just a quick introduction of who you are so people have that context, and we're going to get into our topic.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Jen. Happy to be here and excited for this discussion. I've been an MSP or managed service provider in the tech industry for the past 15 years in New York City. I've grown two companies, and I'm extremely familiar in a lot of different sectors, a lot of verticals, and with the IT space for the SMBs in general.
Well, I appreciate you being here, Nic, because it's hard to find folks that actually understand smaller businesses, not like big small businesses, but even yes, you can handle that, but you also know the little ones. So what we're going to start with a hot topic, which is AI. This is like everywhere, and a lot of small businesses are like, okay, I've heard if I don't do this, I'm in trouble. But what does it really mean? Like, what's going on? So I want to just have you start with just sharing a little bit about what really works in AI and what's happening in this whole AI world. Because you were telling me you just came back from a conference about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think really the biggest problem I have with the AI conferences, like everyone knows it's a hot topic, but no one really says, even these, AI leaders in the field, they don't really tell you exactly how to use it or what products are working or what use case there is exactly for your business. And I think honestly, it is a huge deal. It's a going to change the world in a lot of ways, the way we work and how things are happening. But it is kind of beyond the reach in terms of comprehension for most small business owners because changing a business, growing a business is super hard. Changing a business may be even harder. And the way that your business functions, your operational processes and procedures, and everything like that. What I recommend is starting small. I use it to kind of replace my typical Google search. So if I am getting a new computer or an employee needs a new computer, instead of asking Google and getting some results from HP, Dell, Lenovo, and having to go into those websites, I can have your preferred AI agent, whether it be Copilot, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever you're using that's sort of even free to you, have it go through those websites for you and pull out models that it thinks are highly recommended. And just right there, you save yourself. I mean, even if it's 5-10 minutes of looking at each website, it kind of gives you some information directly. And that's a very simple way that you can kind of eliminate the normal searching process for purchases.
I love that. I had a request for some tech that I was looking for, just me trying to figure out. And one of the things that I did, kind of taking what you had said a little bit further, like besides which computer, I said, this is the kind of software I want. This is my size business. This is what I do. And I want you to help me know what are all the different tech solutions to it, and then make me a comparison as to know like what are the pluses and minuses, and so that was my prompt or something like that to the I used ChatGPT. And then once I was like, I interacted with it like as if I was talking to someone. Okay, so what does this mean when you say like it has this? What does that mean? And just ask it questions. And then when I finally got to the point of it, okay, I think I want this one, then I said, how do I implement it? Because that's a challenge, right? Okay, what's the best and fastest way for me to implement it? And it wrote out step by step. So it's again, it's like you can't get that on Google search. To be able to ask back an article that comes up from Google search, you can't, that's the chat part of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, one of the hardest things is finding those ways that you can use it. And like you're saying, like that's such a good example too of like, okay, I know I need this. Which product should I use? Having that kind of dialogue that you would with someone, even if you were just soundboarding, to as a business owner, it kind of provides that soundboard, that sort of ability to get more information faster. And as you have that information, and again, everything with a grain of salt. It is not perfect. It may not give you all the options. It is not going to be exactly the same as if you were on the product's website looking at all of their features, but you could ask it for that, and it still might not tell you everything. The only way to be sure is to go to that product's website and see what they are specifically offering. So everything with it with a grain of salt there. But if you kind of zoom out at a large scale perspective, if you're trying to get a lot of information quickly, you can definitely utilize it that way. And I think just to continue the conversation here, like, in that vein, like figuring out and this speaks directly to ops, but like figuring out operationally what the business does repeatedly is also such a challenge, because not only, I think one of the challenges I faced as a small business owner was we do everything uniquely, or we're special in this way, but you have to really hone in and find your unique repetitive steps. So if you can find that and really hone in on it, and even use ChatGPT or something to help ask, like, how do you hone in on these, steps that you do as a business, and then try and figure out a way that it can help you by doing it a little bit faster.
Yeah. Well, I love that we're having this conversation and breaking it down. One thing that you had said that I want to share as a trick that I've learned and use with my clients, but you said it too, but I wanted to spell it out a little bit, is that I often ask Chat GPT or another AI format that's of your choice, how do I use you? So I will ask it like, hey, I want to use this. Can you help me make a prompt? Or what should I do to help me create? It's like the Jerry Maguire of AI, basically. Help me
Mm-hmm.
help you type of
Yeah,
thing.
and I feel like that prompt can almost be overwhelming at times too, because it'll come back to you with four or five, and like people get overwhelmed by that. So I think when people talk about prompting, I mean, what you're really saying is like, how do I ask this thing questions from a human perspective so that it gives me what I really want and need? And, you know, tell it to dumb it down. It might take a little bit more time, but say like, hey, I don't understand. Can you please explain this?
Yeah.
Explain number one in very simple terms. Re-ask it to do things to get yourself the comprehensive or the comprehension that you need.
That's a great point. I've done that. I appreciate you bringing that up because I've done that too. Is like, what does that thing that you said? I'll literally just copy it. Like, what is this?
Perfect. Yeah,
It
exactly.
helps.
Make it explain. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
don't let it pretend like it's smarter than you. It is not. It is there to serve you. So ask it to.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nic. I hope everyone listening gets a little bit less intimidated by AI, and these are great places to start. I do absolutely find that once you get into it and you get used to, like you said, asking questions, even the word prompt might be overwhelming, but you're just being good at asking questions. If you can start there, you're going to get really far. Nic, just real quick, if people wanted some more help on this or any of their small business IT needs, how can we find you?
You can find me at heldhightech.com, or my direct email is nick@heldhightech.com.
Perfect, and I'll make sure I put that in our notes. Thanks so much
Thanks.
for joining me, and I can't wait for our next deep dive into IT and ops.
Thank you so much, Jen.